let's begin with Manipur. What is your reading of the current situation there?
Talking of Manipur, if I can describe it in sort of one line, I think it's a state failure. Because what we are seeing today is the fact that law and order is not in the state's control. You have armed groups on both sides. The valley-based Maiti groups have their own armed groups, and so have the cookies, which they are calling village defense volunteers. Both sides don't have complete trust on government forces. So the Metis say that the Assam Rifles are aligned towards the cookies. The cookies say, no, the Assam Rifle is neutral, but it's the central forces and the Manipur police, which is against us. So what we are seeing actually is that law and order has literally passed in the hands of radical groups on both sides. And so you have the people and the population depending more on these armed groups rather than on state forces. That, I think, to me is the crux of the problem. The fact that so many weapons were looted and have not yet been recovered. And what we are seeing is a sort of almost a complete breakdown of confidence, not only between the Metis and the cookies, but also a breakdown of confidence among the cookie groups on the government that, we can't rely on the government. So that in a nutshell is sort of the chaotic situation which is there in Manipur today.
When you were commanding, or 3-4 years or 5 years after that, did you ever foresee that was this ethnic divide a challenge at that time, or that time as well, or is it something new that has happened in the last 5-6 years?
No, look, the fundamental ethnic divide has always existed in Manipur, because you have these three groups: the Metis, valley-based
Cookies and Nagas,
and each have sort of their own issues. The Metis feel that despite them being in majority, they are completely cooped up within the valley. They can't buy land in the hills. There is no reservation for Metis, so jobs are all going to the tribals. They have these issues. Nagas, have this whole idea that Nagaland should be a greater state, which will encompass parts of Manipur. Something that the Metis are deadly against, that, the integrity of the state cannot be touched. And the cookies have always been sort of sandwiched between the Nagas and the Metis. So the ethnic divide has always been there. I think there was greater sensitivity to handling demands of different tribes and different communities. So what has happened, I think, in the last 4 or 5 years is that the cookies feel, rightly or wrongly, that they are being targeted specifically by a chief minister who's pandering to the majority community,
which is the Metis.
And which is why this whole sense that he has been talking about them, that a lot of infiltration has taken place from Myanmar, the fact that cookies are indulging in illegal poppy cultivation. They have expanded their villages. So I think there was as they say, a breakdown of communication, confidence, which required a sort of a spark, which was given by the High Court ruling, which said give reservation also to the Metis, and that sparked off this violence. But as I said, what has happened is again the ability of the state to control. And it's not as if there aren't enough security forces. It is just that the confidence, if the people don't have confidence in a particular group. So you are finding, for example, women groups in Manipur stopping the army and the Assam Rifles from carrying out their duties. That is somewhat new. I recall when I was there, so we had this incident of Muiba wanting to come to Manipur. And that sparked off massive protests.
Yes, Isaac Muiba.
Muiba. Out of the
NSC. And
Yeah. He wanted to come to Manipur and
post accord or
no. This is I'm talking 2010. I think it was. And Manipur state said we will not permit him. And so there was firing at the Manipur-Nagaland border. And that led to massive protest and blockade of the state for months by the Naga groups. But the army had complete sort of freedom of movement. So I recall talking to both the Naga groups and the Meiteis, saying that, look, we are here to do our duty and let us do that. They were blockading civil trucks, etc. They were blockading supplies from coming in, something similar to what is also happening now. But our sort of understanding with all these groups was that, look, the army has its work to do and you cannot stop us from moving around. So that freedom of movement, continued at that time. I think also at least the security forces, the military had full confidence among all the groups, among all the tribal communities. Nobody thought, there is favoritism or you're leaning towards one side, which is something which is actually dangerous now because people lose faith in. We have now seen not only, political leaders in Manipur asking for Assam rifles to be removed.
Click here to watch the full episode.